So, if you just signed and it's been a couple weeks and you're like, I have no auditions, just give it 3 to 6 months, okay? It's easy to go into victim, but really we get to examine what can you do? So here's the situation that we're in. Hi there, Jody Bentley here, actor, producer, and career coach. And today I want to talk about what to do when the agent relationship that you have, that you spent so much time getting, is not really what you thought it would be. So, recently in my mastermind group, this came up with a client of mine who had signed with a manager. And I think it's been, maybe 6 months now that she's with them. And I'll say this, I think most actors have high expectations when they sign with someone thinking their entire career is going to shift. So first of all, if you just signed with somebody, I invite you to give it 3 months. Give it 3 months. Gosh, let them do something, right? Let them paper your face around. Let them get you out there. Let them submit you. Things aren't going to turn over overnight, right? You gotta let it ride the course and ride the wave of letting them do their job. That's what you've agreed to do. So if you just signed and it's been a couple weeks and you're like, I have no auditions, just give it 3 to 6 months, okay? Because you're just going to jump ship and go to another place, and the exact same thing is going to happen because it takes time. So now my client's been with this manager for about 6 months, and she's hemming and hawing a little bit. Wasn't exactly what she wanted, but the grass is always greener. So we get to remember that. So I think it's kind of, it just doesn't feel good to be in that space, right? The space of, this isn't what I wanted. I'm not getting out. I don't know what to do. I feel trapped. I feel stuck. So if that is you, I invite you to do a couple things, because it's easy to go into victim. This always happens to me. I never get an agent, or I finally get an agent and it doesn't work out for me, right? That whole path. So I invite you to stay away from that path. If that's what you're feeling, move through it, but just know that's not truth, okay? But really we get to examine, what can you do? So here's the situation that we're in. You've brought this person on board your team. You've agreed to work together. Now you're feeling these feelings. What do you do? Well, you get to express them, right? You get to feel through them, but you also get to express them to the agent or manager by requesting a meeting. And that's what my client did. She reached out, she requested a meeting. They actually got a meeting. He was like, yes, let's take a meeting. They took a meeting. Meeting went okay. It wasn't exactly what she wanted, but she took the meeting, took the steps. Came up with some action steps in the meeting. Hooray, lovely. Then following up, and not getting any response. That's where she is right now. So maybe you can relate to that. So we get to take action, right? We got to take action to make this the relationship that you want. Because it's very easy to jump ship, grass is always greener, blame the agent. But you got to hold the mirror up to you and go, okay, what else can I be doing here? I don't like this feeling of being stuck. I'm reliant too much on them. What can I do? We'll talk about that in a second. But first of all, you get to request a meeting and make sure that you are both on the same page. And then you really get to look at what you have. What are the sales tools you have? What are the relationships that you have? What else can you be doing to support them in pitching you, to support them in building those relationships? You get to build relationships. You get to provide the sales tools. You get to really look at your reel and go, am I missing something? Should I put a couple things on self-tapes that might be holes in my reel that I'm missing? Are my headshots really working? Let me look at these and examine these. And maybe they are. Maybe you just had them done. Again, I'm just talking it out here, right? Of possibilities for you. Because it is very easy to point the finger and blame. So we really want to examine stuff. So my client examined her stuff and was like, you know what? I'm missing some pieces of what I really want to book. So she's shooting a scene. She's putting a couple things on her self-tape. She's open. She did another round of headshots. She's been doing it all. And now they're at a point where she's done what she can do. She's now building relationships and doing more of that, which is always part of the job. She took the meeting, but things aren't moving forward as she wanted. So when it comes to that point, You just want to set a deadline of I'm going to give it until this point to see how it feels for me. So that way you know there's an end point. That way you know where you're moving forward to, as opposed to, well, this is the situation and I'm stuck. But before you get to setting that deadline of essentially I'm out or I'm moving on, you got to look at what you got. You got to look at your materials. You got to look at what you're bringing to the table. You got to look at your relationships. Again, they're getting 10%. What's the 90% that you're doing, right? You got to hold up the mirror and stop blaming and go, what can I do? Take the meeting, get on the same page, and see how it unfolds. And the biggest thing I told my client, which I will impart to you, is we get to have patience and we get to trust. There's a reason you signed with that person. So I invite you to trust that what if this is the right relationship for you? It's just going to take a little bit of time to build the relationships and to get known, right? And have some patience around that. Because it takes time for people, casting directors, to know your name and trust you to call you in. That's why we build a brand. That's why we build all these materials. That's why we build everything so we can go, this is me, this is who I am. Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you remember me? Do you remember me? And when you do that with clarity, they will remember you and the doors will open again and again. But it takes time. So if you find yourself doubting the agent relationship that you're in, really take this video to heart and really think about, what can you do? How can you get back on the same page? And once both those things happen, and if it's still not the right thing, then set a deadline to move. But I find most people jump ship way too soon, and then you just jump right into the same situation. All right, let me know how you think about this. Let me know what's been going on in your agent relationship or how you're feeling, if this rang true to you at all. Post in the comments below and let me know what you think. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.